What is up and welcome back to my channel. As you guys can tell from the title of today's video and from the thumbnail, I have a little thing here with a bunch of names in it because I wanted to play Rip It or Ship It. I don't have a whole lot of names in this because I didn't want this video to be too long, but I did want to sit down and refilm this because I think when I first filmed this video, I didn't have a full critical thinking mind when it came to the books that I read. So I just kind of went off of how I felt about the characters as opposed to how characters would actually work with each other, their actual core values, who, you know, that kind of thing. So I wanted to sit down and refilm this. I do have some similar names to the last time I did this, and I don't even know if I have an even number of names, but I did want to sit down and film this with you guys today. I did also put my name in here, so we're going to see who I get stuck with. I have a few people that I'm really hoping for, but I'm going to go ahead and just get started. All right, so the first name that I have here is Harry Potter, and the second name that I have here is Neela. Neela is from A Big Ship at the Edge of the Universe. Now, when I think about these guys being together, now the obvious thing that would stick out for me that would be a problem is Neela likes women, so I feel like that probably wouldn't work. I don't know if she's necessarily bisexual, but I know she also likes women. I only know of one relationship she's been in from the story, so I don't know if this would work on that kind of level. But if I'm thinking more on who they are as characters, I think to an extent Neela would enjoy Harry, but I don't think that Harry would really enjoy her. She is very hot-headed. She knows what she wants. She's like kind of a spoiled rich kid at the same time. So I feel like Harry would really struggle with that. And I think that Neela would like him because he is fearless. But I think because of who she is at her core, I think Harry would really struggle with it. So I'm going to go ahead and rip it because I don't think that they'd be very good together. All right, the next names I have here are Mal from the Grisha trilogy, which I don't think Mal should be with anyone. I absolutely hate him. And Cassian, ooh, from the Thorns and Roses, A Court of Thorns and Roses. I'm gonna go with no for obvious reasons. I think Cassian, A, would be bored as hell with Mal because Mal is just like a cardboard cutout of every other, you know, like male hero character is supposed to be. And I don't think that they'd be great together. I think that Cassian would be super bored. I think Mal will take what he can get because he's kind of a little hoe, but I don't think that Cassian would want to go for him at all. All right, the next character I got was Moog, which Moog is the wizard from the Kings of the Wild, which I think is a really great series. And then, me. So I'm gonna go with no on this one because unfortunately I am plumbed wrong. Moog is a gay character, so I don't think at his very core that he would be interested in me at all. Now, could we be best friends because Moog is absolutely hilarious and he's an amazing wizard? Yes. Do I think that I would want him in my life for forever? Yes. Do I think that we are compatible in any kind of way as a ship? Absolutely not. He is one, a little too old for me. I'm probably a little too young for him. And they kind of have this band thing going where they're off on adventures all the time. And I would want somebody who could stay home and be with me. So I don't think that that would work out. All right, next we have Selena, obviously from Throne of Glass. And then we have Mia from Nevernight. Honestly, I think that this would be an amazing pair if they could not kill each other because Selena is obviously an assassin and she's a badass assassin and she is kind of like a morally gray anti-hero kind of character. I actually really liked her character when I first started reading the series, and then eventually she just started pissing me off. So I'm hoping later on in the last book that's going to come out, I'll fall even more in love with her again. Mia I have loved from the very beginning though, but honestly I think that they would be kind of a good ship because I think that they have similar temperaments, and I think that they have similar goals, and I think that they'd make a really great team as well to kind of achieve the things they are trying to achieve. All right, next I have Feyre from, what do you call it? This is how little I care about A Court of Thorns and Roses. I actually kind of like Feyre. And then I have Roland Deschain from the Dark Tower series. I'm gonna go with absolutely not. Roland, for one, doesn't want to get anywhere like close to people. He doesn't want to have relationships with people. He doesn't want to build relationships with people. And I feel like that'd be really hard for Feyre. Also, Roland is just such an old soul that I think that he'd be pretty bored with Feyre pretty quickly. All right, and the next two that I have here are Lila Bard, who I don't think should be with anyone because I hate her, and Orna. Orna is a character from the Big Ship at the Edge of the Universe that I was just talking about. I actually, unfortunately, think that these guys would be great together. Orna is sort of a self-professed bitch. She is really difficult to handle. She's incredibly stubborn, and my god, that sounds like I'm describing Lila. Honestly, I think that they'd be really good together because once again, I think they have the same temperament. I feel like they'd be really good for each other's goals. Now, the only thing is, once again, if they could not kill each other, and two, if they could get along long enough to talk and actually fall in love, because I feel like both of them sort of struggle with first impressions, and I think that'd be a little bit difficult to get going. But once it got going, I think it'd be really great. Alright, the next one that I have here is Amika Chen, who is the main character from Warcross, which you guys know. I actually genuinely liked Warcross. I wouldn't say it's my favorite book I've ever read, but I did like it. And I also drew the Darkling. I'm gonna immediately say no to this. I'm gonna say no to this because the Darkling is a villain, and he is a villain through and through. I don't necessarily think that he got any kind of redemption arc, and I think that because Amika doesn't have anything to offer him, I don't think that it would really work out for them. Alright, the next one that I have here is Boots, who is from, once again, A Big Ship at the Edge of the Universe. She's the older lady character. She is the washed up treasure hunter and one of my very, very favorites from the story. And then we also have Blue from the Raven Boys. I'm gonna go with no. For one, Boots is she knows what she wants and she does what she needs to do to get things done. And I feel like Blue, one, is a little too young for her, but also she lives in a completely different kind of world than Boots does. And I don't think that they would necessarily be compatible for that reason. I feel like Boots is a little too seasoned and has different goals than she does and has different views on the world. And I don't think that it would really work for them. All right, the next one that I have here is Ron Weasley, who should have been stuck with me, and Holland from the Shades of Magic. I'm gonna go with no on this one. Ron is a peach. He is a sweet, semi-innocent. Obviously, we all know that I feel like he was kind of a dick to Hermione in the beginning of the series, but I think overall he has really good intentions, and I feel like Holland does too, but Holland is more cutthroat, will do what he needs to do to get shit done, and Ron is more of a true and true Gryffindor where he just loves everybody and wants to try to help in any way that he can, and I feel like Holland is too much of a Slytherin for Ronald Weasley. Alright, the next one I got here is Laszlo Strange, obviously from Strange the Dreamer, and Clay from Kings of the Wild. I don't think this would work out at all. I think that Laszlo has his head too in the clouds for Clay, and while Clay does live in a mythical kind of supernatural world, I don't think that him and Laszlo would have a whole lot to talk about. Also, their varying levels of where they are in life, I don't think that that would really work either. Alright, the next one I have here is Kale, my baby, and Hermione. I actually think that this would really work. Just like on first impressions, I feel like Kale is both intelligent and kind of has more of that Gryffindor trait where he wants to help, he cares for people, he kind of gets a little bit lost. I'm not going to go into all that drama, but he does get a little bit lost, but I think at the core of him, he does really care, and I think that he'd really appreciate how smart Hermione is, and I think Hermione would really appreciate how much Kale loves and tries to help. Now, sometimes it fails, but he definitely tries, and I think that they would have similar goals, protecting their friends, protecting, you know, their worlds, essentially. I think that that would work really well for the both of them. All right, we're on the second to last ones. I have Katie from Illuminae and Rhysand, and I'm going to go with no. As much as I think Katie would probably be enthralled with Rhysand and would love him, because who doesn't really, honestly, I don't think that Rhysand would be at all interested in Katie. One, she's a little too young. Two, I feel like their personalities are pretty different. I mean, she is pretty cocky, so I feel like they would kind of agree in that kind of way, but I don't think that their life goals are really the same, and I think that they're just a little too different. All right, and the last two that I have here are Kel from the Shades of Magic trilogy and Luna Lovegood. And you know what? I'm gonna go yes with this, especially older Luna. I feel like the kind of aloofness that Luna has would be really good for Kel, because Kel is so serious and he does obviously struggle, but I feel like Luna and him are just weird enough for each other, if that makes sense. Like, they are quick to believe in things that a lot of other people don't necessarily believe in, and I feel like it'd be really easy for Luna to become a part of Kel's world, because it wouldn't be hard for her to believe that something like that kind of exists. And then I think personality-wise, Luna is a bit aloof, but I think so is Kel to some varying degree. Alright guys, so that is it for today's video. That is my Rip It or Ship It tag 2.0, because it has been quite a while, almost a year and a half, I think, since I've done this. So I'm really excited to finally get this out into the world and redo it and actually have real answers for it this time instead of just like, oh, I don't think that they're good together. Not really why I don't think they're good together, but I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and think about subscribing and leave down below any ships you agree or disagree with me on. I would love to hear that, but I hope you guys are having a good day and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!